Hi there guys, welcome to Such Is Life, a channel dedicated to exploring the mysteries and complexities of life and philosophy revolving around it. On this channel, we will delve into a variety of topics related to life and how we live it, including personal growth, relationships, and the search for meaning and purpose. Whether you are a seasoned philosopher or just starting to think about the big questions in life, we hope you will join us on this journey of discovery and self-exploration. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the mysteries of life together. In today's video we explore the age-old question of predetermination versus free will, and is it possible to derive a conclusion based on what we know? To start with, let's break down some key components of the discussion. Predetermination and free will are two opposing ideas that have been debated by philosophers and theologians for centuries, and they continue to be a subject of much discussion and contemplation today. At its core, the debate between predetermination and free will centers on the question of whether humans have the ability to truly choose our own actions and shape our own lives, or whether our lives are predetermined by forces beyond our control. Predetermination refers to the belief that everything that happens in life is predetermined by factors outside of our control, such as fate, destiny, or God. According to this view, our choices and actions are not truly our own, but are instead determined by forces beyond our understanding. Proponents of predetermination, referred to as determinists, who argue that everything in the universe is determined by prior causes and that free will is an illusion. For example, determinists argue that the behavior of particles and other small-scale objects is determined by the laws of nature, and that our choices and actions are also determined by prior causes such as our genetics, upbringing, and environment. One argument often put forward by determinists is that if humans could truly choose our own actions, there would have to be some kind of gap or space in the chain of causality that allows us to make a choice. However, they argue that there is no such gap, and that everything in the universe is determined by prior causes. Therefore, they conclude that free will is an illusion, and that our choices and actions are not truly our own. Free will, on the other hand, is the belief that humans have the ability to make our own choices and decisions, and that humans are not bound by any predetermined fate or destiny. According to this view, humans have the power to shape our own lives and determine our own futures through our own actions and choices. Proponents of free will, referred to as libertarians, argue that free will is a fundamental aspect of human nature and that humans are not determined by any outside forces. One argument often put forward by libertarians is that if our choices and actions are predetermined, it would mean that humans are not truly responsible for our actions. This is because it would mean that humans are not truly making a choice, but are instead being compelled to act a certain way by forces beyond our control. However, libertarians argue that humans are able to make conscious decisions and that humans are not simply robots acting out a predetermined script. Therefore, they conclude that free will is a real and fundamental aspect of human nature. It has to be said that determinism is not necessarily the same as predetermination, as it does not necessarily imply that our choices and actions are not our own. In fact, some proponents of determinism argue that it is compatible with the concept of free will, as they believe that our choices and actions are determined by our own desires and values. One way to reconcile determinism with free will is to argue that while our choices may be determined by prior causes such as our genetics and environment, humans are still able to make conscious decisions and act on them freely. This view, known as compatibilism, attempts to bridge the gap between determinism and free will by arguing that while our actions may be determined, humans still have the ability to choose which actions to take. Despite the efforts of compatibilists to reconcile determinism with free will, the question of whether humans have true free will remains a contentious one. Some people argue that even if our choices are determined by our desires and values, this does not necessarily mean that humans are truly free to choose. For example, if our desires and values are themselves determined by prior causes such as our upbringing and environment, it could be argued that humans are not truly free to choose at all. Another argument against free will is that it is incompatible with the concept of moral responsibility. If our actions are determined by prior causes, it could be argued that humans are not truly responsible for them, as humans are simply acting out a predetermined script. However, proponents of free will argue that this does not necessarily follow, and that humans can still be held morally responsible for our actions even if they are determined. One possible way to approach the question of free will is to consider the nature of consciousness and the role it plays in decision-making. Some philosophers and scientists argue that consciousness is a fundamental aspect of the universe, and that it gives us the ability to make choices and act on them freely. According to this view, our consciousness is not determined by prior causes, but rather it is the source of our free will. In this sense, free will could be seen as a function of consciousness, rather than something that exists independently of it. This view is not without its detractors, as some people argue that consciousness is itself determined by prior causes such as brain function and chemistry. If this were the case, it could be argued that our consciousness and our free will are not truly free, but are instead determined by factors outside of our control. So, what does science have to say about all of this? There is no definitive answer, as the question of predetermination versus free will is a philosophical one that lies outside the scope of scientific inquiry. However, there are some scientific theories and findings that shed some light on the issue. This theory has been supported by the findings of some scientific fields, such as physics, which have shown that the behavior of particles and other small-scale objects is determined by the laws of nature. This is evident when one considers the role of quantum mechanics and indeterminism in the universe. Some people argue that the inherent uncertainty and indeterminacy of quantum mechanics suggests that there is a degree of unpredictability and randomness in the universe, and that this unpredictability could be the source of our free will. According to this view, the indeterminacy of quantum mechanics creates a space of possibilities in which our choices and actions can unfold. In this sense, free will could be seen as a product of the inherent uncertainty and indeterminacy of the universe. But, even this view is also not without its critics, as some people argue that the indeterminacy of quantum mechanics is not relevant to the macroscopic world in which humans find themselves in. In other words, they argue that while quantum mechanics may be indeterminate at the level of subatomic particles, this indeterminacy does not necessarily translate to the larger scale world in which humans live and make choices. Ultimately, there are many different factors that can influence our choices and actions, and it is possible that both predetermination and free will play a role in determining the course of our lives. For example, it is possible that some aspects of our lives are predetermined by factors such as our genetics and upbringing, while other aspects are shaped by our own free will and conscious decisions. Another approach to understanding the relationship between predetermination and free will is to consider the role of probability and randomness in the universe. Some philosophers and scientists argue that while some aspects of the universe may be predetermined, there is also a degree of unpredictability and randomness that can influence the outcome of events. For example, it is possible that some events in the universe are determined by prior causes, while others are influenced by random factors such as quantum indeterminacy. In this sense, the course of our lives could be seen as a product of both predetermined factors and randomness, with our free will playing a role in how humans navigate and respond to these influences. So how can we conclude? The question of predetermination versus free will is a complex and nuanced one, and there are valid arguments on both sides. While some people believe that our lives are predetermined by forces beyond our control, others believe that humans have the power to shape our own lives through our own choices and actions. Ultimately, the question of whether humans have free will or not is a philosophical one that may never be fully resolved. So there you go, folks. Thanks for joining us on Such Is Life channel for this brief thought experiment. We hope that you have enjoyed exploring the mysteries and complexities of life and philosophy with us. Remember, life is a journey of self-discovery and personal growth, and there is always more to learn and discover. We encourage you to continue thinking deeply about the big questions in life and to seek out new experiences and perspectives that can help you to grow and evolve. We look forward to sharing more insights and ideas with you on future episodes of Such Is Life. If you like the content, we would love to hear your comments below, and remember to have a healthy discussion so we all can benefit together. We would appreciate it if you could share, like and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to be updated with our upcoming thought-provoking discussions on this channel. Until next time, take care and keep exploring the mysteries of life.